It just seems like the most cozy little cutesy wholesome book for the fall, especially for fall. This one just looks like a fall book. Sometimes you just need a fun, non-serious book in your fall TBR. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then thank you so much for joining us. But today's video, I am very excited. As you can tell by the title, we are going to be talking about all of my fall books on my fall TBR. I have been thinking about this video for a while, but I kind of just really wanted to collect and get my mind together on the books that I actually really do want to read this fall, because in the past I've really overwhelmed myself with reading expectations for the fall, and I really just kind of want to focus on a few things going into fall. It is currently mid-September, so the fall reading has already begun. I have a lot of books on my mind that I really would like to get to, or at least consider reading this fall. Some that have been released for a while, some that have been recently released, and some that aren't even released yet, but I'm probably going to pick up as they come out or try to get a hold of. I thought this would be a fun video because I love watching videos like this. I love getting an idea of what to read because sometimes it's hard. There are just so many books out there, and sometimes it's hard to kind of decide what you want to read, what you're in the mood for, especially if you have very specific reading moods like I do a lot of the times. It's really hard for me to just pick up any book and be interested in it. So I like to have options. So I really like to watch these videos because they give you a lot of options, a lot of different genres and different cozy moods that kind of work throughout all of fall. And so that's my goal for today, is to give you guys an idea of what I want to be reading this fall, and hopefully give you guys some ideas of what maybe sounds interesting to you and what you guys want to read this fall. So that being said, let's start. Like I said, I have some books here that have been out for a while, some recently released, and some that are not out yet, which I screenshotted on my phone. We can go over. I also have some series, or actually a couple series that I would like to finish this fall, or at least continue, that just feel like they'd be perfect for this time of year. So I feel like I had to just quickly mention my September TBR. If you guys haven't watched my TBR jar picks, my September TBR video, but I still have 3 books left on my TBR for September, and all 3 of them are very, very fall book themed. So I wanted to quickly go over it in case you're just here to pop in for some recs and haven't seen my other videos. And one of them being the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I feel like this one everyone knows about. It's been on TikTok, it's been literally everywhere, and I have yet to read it, but I really want to read it this fall. And so I obviously had to mention this one. I've mentioned it here before, but it just seems like it's the most cozy little cutesy wholesome book for the fall. I've read some other Dream Harbors. I think I've read 3 other Dream Harbor books now, and I've really enjoyed them. They're just nothing deep, nothing too crazy. You're not going to think about it again most likely, but they're just so fun and great palate cleansers, especially if you like to read a lot of fantasy books as well, like I do. These are great to kind of pop in between, just to break up the worlds a little bit, and I really enjoy them. It reminds me a lot of Stars Hollow from Gilmore Girls, and that's like the main reason why I love these books, because it gives me those same feelings as watching Gilmore Girls. It just seems really fun and cozy, and I love the vibes. And even just holding this book, and I feel like reading it at a coffee shop or reading it out while the leaves are changing colors, it would just like be such a cute vibe. I'm all about romanticizing reading as well. The other 2 books on my September TBR, I have Anathema. This one is like a witchy gothic, I think it's a romantasy, witchy gothic romantasy. This one really intimidates me because it has like a little glossary in the beginning. Anything with like glossaries or information that you need to know going into the book always intimidate me, but some of them end up being some of the best reads because they're a little bit deeper and they're so well thought out, and there's just so much to them that you get invested so much more. So I love that aspect of books with glossaries. But I've heard such good things about this one, and the second one I think just came out or is coming out, so I know a lot of people are really excited about that. So I really want to jump onto this so that I can read the second one after if I'm into it. And honestly, even reading the back of this, you still kind of go in a little blind. I'll read you the first little paragraph. It says, "There are whispers about what lurks in Witch Nell, the forest where sinners go to die. The villagers call it the Eating Woods because what's taken is never given back. Only those who've lost their senses would dare to go near it." Just sounds really eerie, really dark. I honestly don't know what's going to happen in this book, and it's quite a big book, so it's kind of intriguing, but it is like a witchy, gothic, romance. I don't know. I really don't know too much about this, but I feel like it'd be really fun to go in blind as well, and it just just seems like the best spooky fantasy atmosphere for the fall, so I'm really excited to get into that one. Another one I cannot wait to get into on my September TBR is In the Veins of Drowning. This one is a debut fantasy, I believe, from Callie Cassidy, and everyone says that fans of One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig would really like this book, and One Dark Window is one of my favorite books of all time, especially for fall fantasy. Like, that book is like the epitome of fall and fantasy. If you guys are looking for a good recommendation and you haven't read it yet, highly recommend that one. But this is supposed to be for the fans of that one. It gives the same kind of vibes, the same gothic fantasy vibes. If there's one theme I like, it's gothic fantasy. Like, that is my favorite genre of all time. So I am really excited to start this one. Don't know too much about it. I know that it's like your classic like King Kingdom fantasy, and there's sirens, and it's gothic, it's mystic. I heard the writing is really beautiful as well, so I really want to get into this one. I think I'm going to pick this one up next, but I'll let you guys know if I end up doing that. So those are the September TBR books I had just wanted to mention. I didn't mention really that quickly, but now we'll go into the fantasy books. I figured we'd get those out of the way because that's my biggest pile, because I am all for fantasy fall that everyone's been talking about. I love fantasy books in the fall. They just give the best vibes. They're so cozy, and you can just get really invested into your fantasy books and your series. So a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I mostly have series on here because I feel like fantasy, it's really hard to find a good standalone fantasy. Let's quickly go through these. First one I really want to get into is City of Gods and Monsters. This has recently really been circulating on my For You page and my social media. I've seen a lot about it, but nothing about it. I really don't know too much about this series except for the fact that it has like werewolves and vampires and like all those fun classic fantasy elements to it, but I'm pretty sure it's an urban fantasy, which is really cool. So kind of similar to like Crescent City, which is fun. I've never really read I haven't even read Crescent City, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think I've actually read an urban fantasy before. So I think these could be really, really fun. But basically on the back it says, Lauren Kalla has only ever been ordinary. As a human struggling to survive in the city that caters to the needs of vampires, werewolves, and witches, and other supernatural creatures, she always assumed her life would remain simple, predictable, and as safe as her world would allow, until she barely escapes abduction at the hands of Darkslayers, supernatural bounty hunters that possess the sight, a magical tracking ability that allows them to see a persona's aura, and one of her friends is taken in her place. The abductors are demanding a ransom, Lauren's life in exchange for her friend's safe return. Lauren will do whatever it takes to get her friend back, even if it means accepting help from Darien Castle, the leader of the Seven Devils, the most feared dark-slaying circle in the city. Sounds really fun. I will eat this up. I already know. And it is quite a large series, meaning that all the books are quite large in the series. But I've heard really good things, and it seems like such a fun world and read, and I honestly can't wait to get into it. Another one I know you guys have probably been saying 1,000 times, but I am a sucker for those very popular books. I'm very easily influenced, if there's one thing about me. And the next one I really want to read is Direbound by Sable Sorensen. This is another book about trials, and I know it's been done a million times, but I will eat it up every single time. I love a book about trials, and basically this one is very similar to Fourth Wing is what I've heard, but better, if I'm not mistaken. It's basically about elite warriors that are mentally linked to direwolves, and they're kind of like the elite society, and they live in luxury. And the main girl in this book is trying to fight her family out of poverty, and her sister ends up getting taken across the border, I believe. So the only way she can attempt to save her is by entering the trials, which is where you bond to a direwolf, and they're like these deadly trials, and she ends up getting bonded to a very feral direwolf who does not like to communicate. And then of course there's the other trainees who obviously want to spill her blood. And yeah, sounds like a really fun book. I heard a lot of people are obsessed with it and get really invested. I think I'm going to be easily one of those people. I'm very predictable when it comes to books that I like, and I love the same thing. I know it's been done a million times, but even if it's just a little bit different, it's still so much fun for me to kind of read about these. And I feel like anything with trials is just so high stakes and so heart racing, which I absolutely love in a fantasy series. So that is definitely on my list this fall. This next one is one that has been out for a while. I just haven't picked it up yet, and I don't know what it is that is stopping me from picking it up, because it seems right up my alley, and that is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This has been out for a while, and I feel like it has gotten really popular around the same time as ACOTAR, and I think ACOTAR kind of just took my personality at that moment, and I wasn't ready to pick this up, and I just still haven't picked it up yet. It's just another one of those big series that, like, if you start it, you are committed, but I don't even know if I'm gonna like it, so I really should just pick up the first one and see if I'm gonna like it. But this one is interesting. Don't know too much about this one, but I know that it is about a main girl who her name is Poppy. She is chosen at birth to usher in a new era. She is supposed to live as a maiden in solitary, never to be touched, never to be looked upon, never to be spoken to, etc. And the entire kingdom's future rests upon her shoulders, something she's not even quite sure she wants for herself, because a maiden has a heart and a soul and longing. And then she meets Hawk, a golden-eyed guard, honor-bound to ensure her assassination enters her life. Destiny and duty become tangled with desire and need. He incites her anger, makes her question everything she believes in, and tempts her with the forbidden. Sometimes I read the back of these books and they go right over my head, and I just need to read them because I just get confused. And honestly, that's probably why it's taken me so long to pick up this book, because I honestly don't understand what it's about. But I've heard really good things. I need to just pick it up because I've heard that there's so much to this world, and I think there's like interconnected series, and they're all just really fun and cozy. And yeah, so convince me to read this, because I just need one person to tell me to, and I'll do it. I just need one. Okay, guys, this next one is honestly kind of embarrassing. I have not read this yet. Listen, I was not a reader in my younger years. I've only recently become a reader, which has been really fun because I can kind of go back and read those series that everyone grew up reading and read them for the first time, and a lot of people are jealous of that. So I do like that aspect of it, but I am also kind of embarrassed that I've never read this book or series or anything, and that is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I keep seeing this for some reason recently. It kind of comes back around often, I've noticed. And this series, if there's one series that's intimidating, it's this one. I think it's like 20 books interconnected, ton of different series that link, and I don't know. I screenshotted a little guide because I need someone to tell me how to read a series. I don't like options. I just want somebody to tell me, and I had to research and find like the best reading order. Anyway, now that I have the reading order, I feel like I'm ready to dive in. The nice thing about this series is it is a YA series, and YA books you can just read so much faster. I feel like they're so much easier to digest, so much easier to get into. The world building is usually pretty tame. And again, I think this is a urban fantasy. Pretty sure, yeah, New York City. Basically, when Clay Frey heads out to the Pandemonium Club in New York City, she hardly expects to witness a murder, much less a murder committed by three strangers covered with odd markings. This is Clary's first meeting with the Shadowhunters, warriors dedicated to ridding the earth of demons and keeping the odd werewolves and vampires in line. It's also her first meeting with gorgeous, golden-haired Jace. Within 24 hours, Clary is pulled into Jace's world with a vengeance when her mother disappears and Clary herself is attacked by a demon. But why would demons be interested in an ordinary, mundane like Clary? And how did she suddenly get the sight? The Shadowhunters would like to know. Honestly, this kind of sounds like a YA version of City of Gods and Monsters. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. The werewolves, the vampires, the urban fan. I don't know. I want to get into it though. I've seen so many people be obsessed with this series, and even people reading it for the first time as adults have really, really enjoyed it. So that's what kind of made me want to jump ahead and try it out, because nothing is better than just being fully invested in a long series if it really is that great. So I really want to get into this, plus I just feel like I need to because everyone else has. This is a lot of people's series that helped shape them growing up as a reader, and it just seems so fun to know what everyone is talking about. Okay, I have two more fantasy books I'd like to talk about. The next one is Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. I got this last year and I haven't read it yet, but I really want to. This is more of like a cozy fantasy, which are really fun for the fall time as well. A lot of people say that fans of The Cruel Prince would really like this. It's kind of like Cruel Prince meets Bridgerton, because it's set in like a more Regency era, which I loved in Belladonna. Belladonna was a mix of fantasy with a Regency like era into it, and I loved the vibes of that. I thought that was so much fun, which is why I really wanted to pick this one up. The main girl in this book is cursed by a fairy, and she's very prone to scandal, which is becoming her season, and obviously you can't have any scandal when you're trying to court and be courted, and it just seems so fun and silly and wholesome, like nothing serious. There's no life or death as far as I'm aware. It seems fun and whimsical, and I really want to pick this one up. It seems kind of like the vibes of like Caraval and Once Upon a Broken Heart and just stuff like that, that just is so fun more than like epic, if that makes sense. So I really want to get into this. It seems like it would be a fun little palette cleanser fantasy for the fall. If there is one book I don't know much about, it is this one, but I love the vibes of the cover of this, and also I've heard so many good things about this author, but that is Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. I never got into Divine Rivals. I just haven't picked it up. I don't know what it is. I'm just like not drawn to it as much. Well, I am quite drawn to it. It also seems a lot more complicated though, but it sounds really good. I've heard that this author, Rebecca Ross, has just really beautiful writing, and I can definitely appreciate lyrical writing, especially in fantasy books. They just seem so fun. I really couldn't tell you if this is going to be high stakes or if it's cozy. I don't know much. I really just want to get into her book. Born in the firelight domain of the Underrealm, Matilda is the youngest goddess of her clan. Blessed with humble messenger magic, she uses to carry words and letters through the realms. But the gods will kill for the power, and Matilda holds a secret she must hide from even her dearest allies. And there is a mortal who dreams of her. Though they have never met in the waking world, 10 years ago, Vincent of Becker wrote to Matilda on the darkest night of his life, begging the goddess he befriended in dreams to help him. His request went unanswered, and Vincent became a hardened, irreverent lord of the river who has long forgotten Matilda, until she comes tumbling into his bedroom window with a letter for him. Matilda and Vincent were fated to find each other beyond dreams, but to rewrite the blood-soaked ways of the gods, Matilda will have to face something she fears even more than losing her magic, finally allowing herself to be loved. Oh, that actually sounds really cute. Okay, I'm excited now. Now that I've read a little bit more about it, this sounds really fun. I really want to get into it. Just so you know, this is what I'm drinking because it wouldn't be a fall TBR video without Witch's Brew. All right, next, let's get into the romance books I kind of want to get into. I haven't really read a whole lot of romance this summer. I don't know what it is. I just haven't been drawn to it, but I really would like to change that and get into some more romances this fall. And so I pulled some off that just kind of seem more fallish to me or give those vibes. Some of them might not be. They could be total guesses, but we'll quickly go over them because I don't know too much about these books. If there's one thing about me, romance books, I definitely judge by the covers. If the covers are cute, I'm going to pick them up. I don't know what it is. Usually a cute cover means a cute story inside. One of them I really want to get to this fall is the X-Files. This one just looks like a fall book with all the leaves. I know it's like a little vineyard. I think they're at a vineyard in the cover, but it looks really cute. I think it's like a second chance romance. They, I think, were friends or dated before, and then they kind of went their separate ways, and now they're both involved in their mutual friend's wedding, and they kind of rekindle that way, is what it appears. It seems really cute. I've heard really good things about this book and this author in general. Seems really cozy for the fall. Another one I really want to get into is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I've heard so many good things about Kennedy Ryan's books, and I really want to know what it is all about because it seems so fun. I will say I'm intimidated because these books are a little bit more heavy, or at least this one is. I don't know about her other ones, but she writes a little bit more about like real life stuff. It's not just like cutesy. I don't even know if it would be considered romance or if it's more literary fiction, but this one is more about a relationship after divorce and just dealing with that and kids and everything afterwards. So I think it's going to be a little bit more interesting and a little bit more heavy, but it's also seems like it would be a really more meaningful book to read, if that makes sense. The next one I have is Business Casual by B.K. Borison. I've had this one on my shelf for a long time, and I've actually never read a B.K. Borison book, but something about B.K. Borison's covers all scream fall to me, or like the ones in these, I think this is like a little interconnected series, I'm not sure, like the Love Light Farms, I don't know, but something about her books just seem so fall and cute, and I don't know too much about this one. Basically, it's about a girl and a guy who are drawn to each other, but she doesn't want to have the distraction of him there. She's opening up at her own tattoo shop in her hometown, and so she suggests having a one-night stand, no strings attached. But obviously, there can't be no strings attached, and I think they're probably going to fall for each other. But something about this just seems so fun and cute, and I really want to get into her books because they seem all so cozy and fun. Another one I've mentioned so many times on this channel that I really need to just read already is The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I love 7 Year Slip. That was one of my favorite books I read last fall, and I think this one would just be so much fun to read during the fall because I'm pretty sure it's like kind of supernaturally. She can talk to ghosts, I'm pretty sure, which seems so fun. Obviously, really want to get into this one, and this one's more of just like a fun, silly, goofy read. What the Hex? I read The X Hex a couple years ago, and it's like a fun little witchy romance, and I don't know what it was. Like, it wasn't anything spectacular, but the vibes were just so fun, especially for like October spooky season. So I really wanted to pick up another one that's kind of the same vibe. And this one seems like it'd be perfect. I mean, the cover alone is just so cute. And I really just want to pick up more fun, goofy reads like that. Sometimes you just need a fun, non-serious book in your fall TBR. And then I have 3 thrillers I'd like to get to. I mean, I am all for a thriller fall. I love thriller books. They are some of my favorite reads of all time. And you can just binge them. Like, my favorite author of all time for thrillers is Frida McFadden. Obviously, I think that's a lot of people's favorite thriller author, and I have been reading her backlist. I think I only have like 2 or 3 more books left that I haven't read of hers, and every single one gets me. I'm always binging it. I read 3 this week, and I kind of want to read another. And I know she has a new one coming out, which we'll talk about, because it is one I really want to get to. But really quickly, I'll go over the 3 thrillers I want to read this fall. The first one, I think this is considered a thriller. I don't know too much about it, but it is The Long Walk by Stephen King. The main reason I really want to read this is because the movie is coming out or just came out. I'm not sure, and it seems really interesting. I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, that would be good. But I really, really like to try to read the books before I watch the movies if I can help it, because you just are able to get so much more from a book just being in the character's mind and getting their thoughts and knowing that and taking it and watching the movie. Sometimes it can hurt it, sometimes it can help it, but I really like to just know what's going to go on and get the actual juicy story first. I've also never read a Stephen King book, so I thought this would be a good one to start off with. It's a little bit shorter, doesn't seem super complicated or anything, and then I could go watch the movie. My husband is a huge Stephen King fan, and so I think he'd be really happy if I read this. But don't know too much about it. I believe it's just about like this weird like thing this town does where they bring boys together to walk until the last one is standing to win a prize, something like that. Next one I really want to read is We Used to Live Here. This one's been on my TBR for a while, but I feel like this one would be so fun for the fall. Again, Frida McFadden has a little blurb on it. You know it's going to be good. But this one's really intriguing to me. I think it's actually more of like a horror, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, it's about this family who buys a house and they get a knock on their door from, I think it's a couple who say that they used to live there and they were just wondering if they could just walk around for memories, and then like weird things start to happen. Obviously, that sounds so interesting. I love when weird things start to happen. Okay, another one I really like to get to is The God of the Woods. I haven't picked this up yet, and this was one of like the top books of the year last year, or a Goodreads winner, all of that stuff. It sounds really good. It's like a mix of a mystery thriller / literary fiction about a girl who goes missing at a summer camp, I believe, and then there's like a bunch of other stuff to it. I love a good like mystery literary fiction. I feel like when you get like a mystery literary fiction, those are the best because they're just so deep and interesting. Really want to pick this up. Need to get to it this fall. It just seems like it'd be a fun fall read. Now I have just a few more books I want to talk about. Hopefully you guys are not bored yet, but there are some books that I either don't have or haven't come out yet that I'd really like to put on my fall TBR. The first one is, speaking of Frida McFadden, is The Intruder. It's her new book coming out October 7th, and like I said, love Frida. All of her new books lately I have gotten and binged like the day of because they are just so much fun. And this one sounds really interesting because it is about a woman named Casey who goes and stays at a cabin during a hurricane, and there's a girl lurking outside of her window covered in blood holding a knife, and she is quite terrified. And she ends up discovering something in the middle of the night, and things take a turn for the worse. Obviously, nothing is what it seems when it's Frida. She will pull you through the ringer, make you think every little thing or every possibility is what it's going to be at the end, and she will just blow your mind because it's never what it seems. The next book coming out that I really want to read September 23rd is Alchemized. I know a lot of people are looking forward to this one. I know a lot of people loved Manacled, and the cover of Alchemized, I don't know what it is. It's giving that gothic fantasy vibe that I'm absolutely obsessed with, and I don't know, it seems like it'd be so fun, and I know everyone else is excited about it. I want to be excited about it. The next book that's coming out I really want to read September 30th is Soul Searching by Lila Sage. I haven't read a Lila Sage book either. She has Done and Dusted, and I do want to get to that series at some point. I just haven't had the time, or really I haven't been in the mood, I guess would be a better word. But this one sounds really good, and the cover is so cute. Again, I love these covers. But I think it's basically like a cute small town romance, but they can talk to ghosts, or the main girl can speak to ghosts. It says ghosts have always been her companions. I don't know, it just seems so fun. It's like a fun romance, but still fall and spooky. The next book I really want to read, this one has already come out, I just haven't picked it up yet, but that's People Watching by Hannah Bowman Young. Haven't read one of her books either, and I really would like to, and something about this cover just screams fall, and the reviews I've been seeing on it are so cute and wholesome. People are like really emotional reading this book. I think that it's more than just a cute romance. Yeah, it just seems really cute, and I've heard that it's just so much more, and so I really want to see what it's all about. I've also heard that her books are just so good in general. This next one has also already come out, and I really want to read it, but it's If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. The cover of this one is screaming Gilmore Girls, and it even, I believe, yeah, it even takes place in 1997. It's a cozy, slow burn romance in the autumn glow of small town Vermont. The next door neighbor seems to have everything figured out. Small town golden boy, check. Single dad extraordinaire, check. Hot baker forearms, I didn't notice them, I swear. Copper Run, Vermont was going to be easy. It should be a good place to heal after my divorce, but apparently my scones belong to the garbage with my small talk skills, as pointed out by none other than Cliff. Okay, let me just say, I keep seeing everyone say that this book is giving Lorelai and Luke, and looking at the cover and reading the synopsis, I feel like it definitely does. Her running her little bed and breakfast, or like inn, and him being a little baker. I don't know what it is. It is definitely giving Lorelai and Luke from Gilmore Girls, so that's so fun. And I also think the 1990s like setting is really fun in Vermont. Like that just seems so cozy and cute. Definitely want to pick that one up. The last book I really want to get to this fall, I put this at the end because it doesn't come out till November 18th, so it's like the end of fall, almost Christmas time, but I want to read it regardless, is Brimstone. It's the second book in the Fae and Alchemy series, the Quicksilver series. I've seen so many mixed reviews on Quicksilver. I personally really liked it. I don't know why. I thought it was so fun. It gave me a little bit of like Throne of Glass vibes, but a little bit more adult, a little bit more. And I loved especially the end and like the vampires and everything. I thought that was so much fun. And I'm so curious to see where we go now in book 2. I almost think I need to either reread it or read a summary though, because I don't even remember like the middle of that book, but I remember the end, and the end was so much fun, and I just want to keep going. And I do like the male main character in that book too. I loved everything about the book. I thought it was so fun, and I know a lot of people are so indifferent to it, or they like love it or they hate it. I don't know. I thought it was really fun, and I really want to read the second one. And yeah, if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was interesting to you. I hope you guys got some good ideas. I would love to hear what you guys are putting on your fall TBRs, because I'll always have room for more options. I love a good fall option. So let me know what you guys are reading. Let me know if you've read any of these and what I should prioritize, because I talked about a lot of books, and I know I'm definitely not going to get to all of them this fall. I would love to, but not all. And so let me know what I should prioritize, what I should put on the forefront of my mind. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know what you guys want to see. I want to bring out more fall content for you guys because it's just so much fun. And yeah, make sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on all my other socials. I will see you guys next time.